Hi everyone, and good Monday evening, and welcome back to a fresh new edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, the Valley's most in-depth weather video. We geek out to all types of weather on this video, including atmospheric phenomena. And I wanted to start out tonight with a scene that was observed by some over the valley just before sunset this evening. This was sent in by Ginger, and I want to draw your attention to the holes in the clouds right here. What these are called are fall streak holes. How these form, it's a little bit complicated, a little hard to explain. I would suggest, if you're interested, doing a quick Google search, getting on Wikipedia and looking at the explanation there. It has to do basically with airplanes causing these types of holes through all sorts of physical processes. Again, a little bit complicated to get into on this video, but very cool sight out there this evening. Very nice sunset overall this evening because of the high clouds that we had around the valley earlier on this afternoon and this evening. All right, we have a few days left in November, but overall it has been a pretty chilly month compared to average. Today was an exception. We got to 52 this afternoon. That is warmer than average, and we've got more warmer than average temperatures coming for the last 3 days of the month. So even though we're at 1.8 below average right now, I suspect we'll be closer to a degree or so as far as the final number goes in the month of November. Tomorrow's forecast calls for lower 60s. Should be our warmest day since the 5th day of the month. Been over 3 weeks since we've been as warm as we are expecting tomorrow. Now, this was the original November forecast put out almost a month ago. Let's compare that to what has actually happened. Let me grab the actual observations temperature-wise across the country so far this month. Things we got right, things not so much. Got the cold air right up in parts of Canada, certainly, and across the upper Midwest. But the cold air has made more inroads south and east than I originally bargained for early in the month. And the warmth has been a little more centered in the western U.S. as opposed to the southeastern U.S. like I had on our original forecast here. So some things good, some things bad. That is pretty typical of a monthly forecast, but ultimately the cold-looking map that is out currently. Let me grab that again. Bear with me for just a second here. The cold-looking map is going to be changed a little before the month is through. You know, I think we're going to be looking at less blue kind of in through here because of the warmth that's coming over the next 3 days. So I'd give the November forecast, B-. We've had better, we've had worse. Certainly, we're hoping for better things when it comes to the winter forecast update that I'll be doing this Friday. Going to update the full winter forecast December, January, and February this Friday on 21 News and here on Weather for Weather Geeks. All right, temperature-wise today was a great day. We had some clouds late in the afternoon, but got into the lower 50s today. About 10 degrees warmer than it was yesterday, and I think we'll be about 10 degrees warmer tomorrow afternoon as compared to today. Weather map fairly quiet once again this evening across the country. Cold front out west, producing some light precipitation. Really no big deal there. Warm front is what brought us the high cloudiness that made for those nice sunsets earlier on this evening. This warm front's going to continue pushing north and east tomorrow and will be firmly in this benign warm sector that was over St. Louis, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa today. What a great day we have coming up for your Tuesday. Temperature-wise, here in the 7 o'clock hour this evening, it's pretty cold in parts of the Northwest, pretty cold in New England and southeastern Canada, but look at this bubble of warmth out here across the middle of the country. Easily the coldest air in parts of North America this evening, especially in populated areas, would be across the border in, say, Montreal. But otherwise, most of the major North American cities are not looking too bad for a late November evening this evening. Big picture for tomorrow looks like this. We're going for 61 for a forecast high tomorrow. That is shy of the record of 69 set in 1990. Record low tomorrow, 7 degrees, 1955. A few days left in the month. This will go into the record books as a top 5 wettest November. And temperature-wise, nothing remarkable there. About 9 hours and 30 minutes worth of daylight coming up on your Tuesday. Again, Tuesday's going to be a great day. Southerly wind. If you get a chance, haven't done the holiday decorations yet, great day to do it tomorrow aside from the gusty breeze. No big deal otherwise. Cold front comes through tomorrow night. I can't rule out a shower tomorrow night, but it's a 5-minute deal. It'll be gone by the time the sun comes up on Wednesday. Notice our wind direction Wednesday more out of the north as high pressure builds over Michigan. It's going to be a cooler day Wednesday. but only kind of back to average, and even still a couple of degrees above average on Wednesday. No lower 60s, but we'll be in the mid 40s on Wednesday. All right, our best chance to get wet this week will be Thursday, and not in the morning, but later in the day. This is Thursday at 10 a.m. Showers maybe just crossing into western Ohio at that point, and I think a lot of us will see at least a little rain by sunset on Thursday. Gusty wind tomorrow developing in the morning, especially northwest Ohio and up towards Michigan. It'll get gusty around here at times during the daylight hours tomorrow. It'll stay pretty blustery into tomorrow night as the cold front crosses our region. All right, 10-day temperature outlook. We're going to hang on to this mild pattern through next Wednesday, so another 8 or 9 days. Notice there's some variation here. I think compared to the average, tomorrow is easily the warmest day. But right at the end of this graphic on Thursday, that's the start of what I think will be a much different pattern starting around the 8th or 9th day of December. This is the 8 to 14 day outlook showing cooler than average temperatures, making big time inroads across areas east of the Rockies across the U.S. Now, compared to the average, the cold may be centered out here for a time, but that's compared to the average. That doesn't mean it's not going to be cold here. I think it's going to be cold starting in about 8 or 9 days. Let's talk about how long the cold may stick around. Hot off the presses this evening. It's Monday evening, so we get a fresh edition of the European Weekly forecast. A sea of warmth for the next 10 days across the U.S., southern and central Canada. But watch the difference between the 7 to 14 day outlook here and the 11 to 18. Boom, here comes the cold. And once it gets in here, not only this set of modeling, but a lot of other modeling is really cluing on to the idea that it's going to lock in for a while. Do I see anything extreme in this pattern? Not at this juncture, but pretty darn cold-looking pattern, I think, in the run-up to Christmas. This is the 11 to 18. This is the 14 to 21 day outlook. Here's the week before Christmas, showing more cold weather compared to average across Ontario, Quebec, northeastern U.S., perhaps back to the Ohio Valley. Here's right around Christmas, showing, again, warmth in the west, cold air in the east. Now, this does not necessarily mean a lot of snow. This is the European modeling showing precipitation departures from average. Those brown colors, that's drier than average precipitation. I think it's going to snow some in the next month. That's almost a given, but it may not be much. According to this set of modeling, that's a pretty dry-looking pattern. And here's a look at the American modeling, showing maybe not as dry, but I don't see any warm signal shown on here either. Or, I'm sorry, wet signal. A wet signal would be kind of this color, this purple and blue. On the legend over here, that's above average precipitation. Don't see that in a whole lot of places across the U.S., including here. So I'm starting to lean towards the idea that December is going to be a colder than average month, but not necessarily a snowier than average month. May see a lot of cold, boring days. Now, with the colder air, while we might not have any or few big storms, that colder air could certainly lead to some lake effect events. So that's the way I'm leaning. Our original December forecast was for milder than average temperatures. That's going to change. It's at least going to be average, if not colder than average, I think, during the month of December. And I'll have a full update again on December and the whole winter coming up on Friday evening. In the meantime, thanks for watching the Monday Night Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11 o'clock.